Report. What's going on, everybody? It's Robo. And I'm hearing myself. Why am I? There it is. Mute that tab right there. Sorry about that. It's Friday. I'm here. Somebody said that they would join the DSA. They would stop waiting and join the DSA if I went live today. That made it a no-brainer. No brainer. This is the mirror universe we're living in right now, where Mirror Robo live streams 3 days a week. Welcome. I actually don't know what you're talking about, Bone Factory. Here in Earth 617, straight on me. Yeah, here in Earth 617. I've been streaming 3 times a week. Endlessly. Hey, okay. Thank you, love. Maneater in the house. See, this is how I know I'm good looking, because my wife told me so. That's right. And that's the only thing that matters. Screwface Capone. What's up? Smoke One Kenobi, Bone Factory. It's good to see everybody. Here, let me post this on Threads. If you follow me on Threads, go ahead and give me a repost on this post right here, because Threads Meta is a hoe. Every time you try to share something and to like bring somebody else to a different website, they're like, nah, not around here, bruv. Beatmaster 80, what's going on? Is that your birthday? We're the same age? Are you born in 1980? Or is that like your jersey number or something? Oh, buddy. It just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting, okay, that's what's up. Fellow old man in the house, what? You know what? I should post this on Blue Sky too, huh? After the DSA convention, found out a bunch of DSA people are on Blue Sky, so I think I'm gonna start posting there a little bit. No, it isn't. Oh, okay. Anyways, look at me. I'm over here. This is how you know you got a problem. This is how like, oh, let me stream it. Just scrolling, just reading my social media. Yeah, I'm not actually streaming live. This is a time to read the thread. That's what we're oh shit. But I am going to post this real quick. Hold on. I'm live. Come through. Boom. Maybe I should be like a little bit more imaginative to my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like nobody really. It's gonna get suppressed anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm always like, maybe, whatever. If it works, it works. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody's having a good week. Most of y'all, all of y'all, I saw yesterday. So, how's you guys' Friday going so far, right? And if you weren't here, if you didn't watch Nerds of Culture, how was today? How has the week been for you all? I hope awesome. I hope wonderful. I hope nobody has COVID. Apparently, there's a new strand of COVID going around everybody. A new strand of COVID called Razor COVID. It's like there's a like there's an ad company running this shit or something. Like, all right, guys, nobody's taking this shit seriously. What are we doing? What are we doing to we got to pump these numbers back up. All right, sir, I have it. Razor COVID. Huh? Badass, huh? And we don't put the O, right? So it's RAZR. And then the R is kind of like the type R from the Integra, but just different enough to not get sued. You know what I'm saying? Nobody took it serious last time either. That is a fact. And that's why it's still here. Maneater may have had that. May have had it, but I didn't catch it, so that's good. After gaming gear, They now game COVID. Yeah. No shit. No shit. Skywalker, so nothing happened. So nothing happened what? Is that like your week? Are you telling me nothing's happened in the week? What I found interesting was that when I was looking up what Razor COVID was, because somebody had brought that up, we were trying to see if whether or not Maneater had it. I was looking at Razor COVID. In looking it up, I found out that in June, 110 people died. Now, 110 people across 340 million people is more or less nothing. More or less nothing. But still, 110 people is kind of wild. And it's probably going to always be like that. By the way, that is the lowest number since March 2020. The lowest it's ever been since March 2020. So we are definitely in the lowest we've ever been. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's not here to stay. Because I feel like flu deaths are more than that. You know what I mean? Did you know that open carry of a Subway sandwich is legal in DC? Who gets it? Who gets that reference? We'll play a game. Guess that reference. Yeah, oh yeah. Measles definitely gonna make a comeback for CZ. Actually, I got you right here. Bruv. Where is it? That's not it. Ruffalo. Nope, that's one. That's gonna really fucking suck to watch. Sorry, guys. Got some really shitty things on the docket today. Uh-huh. Are you guys hearing these videos, or is this just for me? Nah, you guys can hear it. All right, good. Wait a minute, where the fuck is the... There it is. I found it. We're good. Crisis averted. All right. What the fuck is Bone Factory talking about? This week is getting wild. Man charged with a felony for assaulting a peace officer, a law enforcement officer, a peacekeeper, a civil servant, if you will, with a foot-long Subway sandwich. He was drunk. Weapons for the revolution. We gotta watch that again. He said, oh shit! The only way that would have been better is if it hit him in the face. Oh, you guys can't hear it. Oh, I forgot to turn the thing. All right, you know what that means? We just gotta watch it a third time. You know? Hold on a second. Can or can't? You guys can't hear it, right? That is hilarious. Where's the fucking, what you call it? Oh, can. Oh, because I'm not in the fucking okay, yeah. I forgot I pushed it over to the browser. We can still watch it a third time though. So here's the thing. All right. I want you guys to remember this is Donald Trump's USA right now. And I want you to imagine for a second. If like the Justice Department said, "Nah, fuck that. You're going to jail. I don't give a fuck. and they plea bargain, they go back and forth, and let's say the guy gets 3 years. This motherfucker has to go to the pen, the state, the federal penitentiary for 3 years. And when somebody asks him, "What did you do? What are you in for?" He's got to say, "I hit a cop with a Subway sandwich." I don't know if that's gonna go too well for him. You know what I mean? Like, they say you gotta make sure people don't know that you're not somebody to fuck with, right? And I think the guy who's only in there because he threw a sandwich at a cop, he might get a little attention, or he'll be a hero. Who knows? Maybe it'll make everybody laugh, and he'll be class clown for a few years. Let me tell y'all something. If they lock me up, if something happens before Trump gets out of office and I get locked up, right? I promise you, I'm coming out that bitch swole as fuck. I'm coming out of that bitch like I'm already upset. I got no Wi-Fi. I can't fucking stream anymore. You can't. There's no Steam in there. You know what I mean? I mean, like Steam video games. I'm coming out yoked. I promise. Like, people are gonna be making fun of me. I'm gonna stream and people are gonna be like, "God damn, what do you need?" Wait, I'm gonna be filling up the camera and not like how I am now, like with fat. I'm gonna be like jacked. Rough Rider, SmackDown and Robo. Today was a good day. Yeah. Orange Nation. Did you see the message I sent you on Instagram that Tizian did on the subway? No. Man, I suck. I am bad at DMs. I've realized that. I've come to terms with the fact that I am no good. My wife, my daughter, my dad, they're like, "Hey, did you see what I DM'd you?" I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah." I'll open up there. I'm like, 32 missed DMs. Here, let's see. Let's open this bitch up here. Um, how do I get the message on this thing here? Hold on. Just for asking that question, I gotta do this. Hey, someone come at me with this shit. That's my dad. My dad's just like this. Hey, George, come here. I don't know how to do this shit. What? They make this shit so fucking complicated for nothing. That's my dad. And then I'll be like, the on button's right there, Dad. Love you. DM is full of sausage. Why can't I? What's the deal, Steel? Can I not look at oh, messages. There you go. John Stewart. I don't see nothing here. I see the A-Team idea, which, by the way, got printed. Still got to do the pedophile and the crocodile. Danny DeRay, Old Scurv, and F2 Frame. I do not see what you're talking about. Tiziant did on Instagram. Nah, was it Threads maybe? I mean, he didn't hurt any women or children, so he won't get 86. He might catch a boyfriend though. Or a girlfriend. I would say that's the like it don't really matter if I'm single, but they can't get hormones. I don't know. That's rough. Like, if you go into jail single in Trump's America, at least there's a chance of maybe, like, if you had like a if you find somebody that's passing or something for company. But I'm married. I'm happily married, so going to Threads, checking my Threads DMs. Threads. Why did they find him? Is that why? Threads. There it is. Felony charge or termination or promotion. All right, let's see. It's oh yeah, I actually gotta send myself the link because the desktop Threads doesn't have an inbox, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll send it to my Discord to myself. Yeah. Boom. Let's check this. Let's check this bad boy out. Get out of full screen. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Oh, I know why. That's why. All right, let's check this out.
Military presence. He was walking home from Subway, saw some Border Patrol officers, decided to tell him what he thought of them, and also whip his Subway sub into their chest. He took off running, but was subsequently caught and arrested for assaulting an officer. No one could argue that that is actually probably a more positive use for a Subway sub than actually consuming it, but you can't throw stuff at police officers.
Wait, time out.
However, I'm pretty sure if you threw a soft...
Am I the only one who likes Subway here? I love Subway.
Expect to catch a felony charge, being charged with felony assault for throwing a sandwich. Now, he did just have a hearing where he was released on some recognizance, and the judge finds the felony charge excessive. But still, he's got a rocky legal road ahead. He also worked for the DOJ and was terminated from his job for doing that. And all of that makes sense. Except... Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Yeah,
that's Jared Weiss, former FBI agent, at the January 6th insurrection, yelling, "Kill them, kill them," about police officers.
I see where he's going.
That's Jared Weiss, former FBI agent, at the January 6th insurrection, yelling, kill them," about police officers. He was arrested and charged, among other things, with felony assault on an officer. That sounds familiar, right? Yeah, he got pardoned by Donald Trump because all the January 6ers got pardoned. But not only did he get pardoned, he was just hired as a senior advisor as part of the Justice Department.
Wow.
So he, who participated in an event where police were actually harmed, hired at the DOJ, throw a Subway sandwich at a Border Patrol officer, fired from the DOJ. The only difference I can see between these two situations is one did what he did extremely violently.
Oh, that dude was
in the name of Donald Trump, and the other did it in exact opposition to Donald Trump. One will get you a promotion. The other will get you fired and charged with an excessive felony. This is not what America is supposed to be. So in case you missed it, this man's allegedly named Sean Dunn. He was in D.C. upset about the police presence, military presence. He was walking home from Subway, saw some Border Patrol officers, decided to tell him what he thought of them, and also whip his Subway sub into their chest. He took off running, but was subsequently...
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. But the fact of the matter is that is life. That is life in fascism, baby. That is exactly how it goes. So speaking of him being out there, I'm sure you all have heard by now, Donald Trump. First of all, that guy who, got hired by the DOJ, who was one of the people that attacked Capitol police officers and then got convicted and then pardoned and then hired. That's Project 2025. That's Project 2025 to a T, all the way. Project 2025. You know, the thing that Democrats were just fear mongering over. And there's also this other thing that I keep hearing about Project 2025 is like, Project 2025 has always been happening. Like, look, no one's saying that Project 2025 invented racism. You know what I mean? Like, no one's saying that Project 2025 is now the reason why we were fascist. We were never fascist before. That's not what we're saying. Project 2025 comes with it a very specific set of actions. Very like, this is what we're going to do. And this is one of them, is hiring loyalists. Like he got hired by the Justice Department, somebody who was willing to attack law enforcement and storm the Capitol on behalf of Donald Trump. Those are specifically the people they're looking for to pull into government. Specifically, the people they're looking for to say, hey, I need people who are more loyal to me as an individual, Donald Trump, than to the Constitution or law or morals or anything like that, right? Like that is what it's for. So, I mean, if you think about it, this is it right here. The blueprint for a full takeover. This is exactly what's happening. This is what's happening. So what else? What else is going on?
And homeless encampments torn down. Protests also erupted in the streets last night after the White House said federal agents would patrol around the clock, and the president himself hinted that his month-long crackdown could last even longer. Protesters took to the Northwest D.C. streets last night.
Why are you here? You're trying to arrest innocent people? What's your purpose? What's your goal?
Responding to this show of force, federal agents alongside city police, now under federal control, running a checkpoint at a busy intersection.
Turn left!
Some residents warned approaching cars to turn away. Police say they arrested 76 people in the district yesterday, outpacing last year's daily average of 56. And the D.C. police chief said today that information collected during these kinds of traffic stops could now be turned over to federal immigration authorities. It's all part of a federal crackdown in the nation's capital launched by President Trump, citing a crime emergency that the data doesn't fully support.
Crime is rampant in D.C. It's rampant in our generally blue-run cities, and they've got to do something about it.
Federalizing the D.C. police force carries a 30-day legal limit. The president said yesterday he may extend that.
So latest news on that is that he has told, well, here, let's check it out. Let's check it out. What is the latest news on this? No. Chacho. Oh, I'm gonna scream. Trump administration keeps so here we go. So Trump administration agrees to keep DC police chief in place, but with immigration enforcement in order. Judge Anna Reyes on Friday ordered the DOJ to advise Attorney General Pam Bondi's directive to revise Attorney General Pam Bondi's directive, with the department agreeing to amend the order and not appointing Terry Cole at this time. Amid Trump's crime emergency efforts, Bondi signed a memo directing DC police to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement despite ongoing legal disputes. Facing a deadline, DOJ lawyers requested time to revise Bondi's directive during Friday's hearing. Trump administration backs off demand to replace DC police chief, but directs cops to follow federal immigration laws. So basically, what they're telling them is, okay, we can't fire you, but we're telling your cops to not listen to what you're saying. Just follow what we say. And these cops are going to do it. They're going to do it. Yeah, no shit, right? It looks like for the promotion for that Civil War movie from Kristen Dunst. By the way, great movie. Great movie. See, this is why I like ground news right here. So you can kind of get like the gist of like left, right, and center. Trump administration, blah 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 blah. So right, a judge ruled that Washington D.C. police chief remains in charge, blocking Donald Trump's control attempt, according to reports by Politico. And then like, and then you can see how like the right is reporting it. And if you click like bias comparison, left-leaning outlets frame the Trump administration attempt to control the DC police as a hostile takeover and DOJ caving under legal and local pushback, emphasizing threats to home rule and immigrant safety with charged terms like gravest threat and complete takeover. In contrast, right-leaning sources depict the federal move as justified, lawful assertion of authority to enforce immigration laws and end sanctuary policies, highlighting Judge Reyes' rebuke as an example of nasty partisan bias. You know what's funny? It's interesting when they sit there and go, I heard I heard yeah, yeah. I'll take anybody's word for it. Um uh, where was I? Fuck. You threw me off. You think YouTube chat went down? Oh. Oh, it sure did. Let's do this. Let's go refresh here and refresh here. Let's see. Test. There we go. YouTube's back. Let's see what I missed up. I think Rebel would be more of a Vice Lord guy. I don't know. You know what's funny? I've given this way too much thought. Like, what if I were to end up in prison? Like, what would I do to survive? And I'm like, what if I only got like 3 or 4 or 5 years or something? You know, you can do that. You can run that. And it's like, but if I don't go do this crime that's gonna extend my sentencing, then I might get murdered. I'm like, fuck, that's wild. Should we follow Kane and join ICE to take it down from the inside? How fucking crazy would that be? Except I think that if that happened, what would be likely is you would see people go to prison for like fraud or something like that. But yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it. I like the idea of flooding ICE with like with nonsense more. Hold on, there was something else I wanted to look for. It was more about, yeah, Trump says no deal but progress made with, no. You're What happened at day 1? Are we still waiting for day 1 ending the war? If he's voted in, he's going to end it day 1. Pretty sure that's what I heard. Um where is There it is. Here we go. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday he would ask the Republican-controlled Congress to extend federal control of Washington's city police force beyond 30 days, escalating his campaign to exert presidential power over the nation's capital. Trump also asserted that any congressional action could serve as a model for other cities. Like we said, this is a test. This is only a test. He has previously threatened to expand his efforts to other Democratic-run cities such as Chicago, that he claims have failed to address crime. It was not clear how Trump's takeover of Washington's Metropolitan Police Department could be replicated elsewhere. In seizing control on Monday, Trump took advantage of a federal law, the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, that permits the president to do so under emergency circumstance for up to 30 days. That's pretty much how That's pretty much how he's been doing nearly everything that he's done, from National Guard in California to National Guard on the border to moving funds around, to striking other countries, Biden did it, Obama did the same thing, and basically it's the magic word, and the magic word is emergency. All you have to do is call it an emergency, and you get to do pretty much whatever you fucking want. And don't forget, let us not forget, right? Everybody talking about what's illegal and what's not illegal, yada yada yada. I think people are forgetting that the Supreme Court, while Biden was president, like last summer, the Supreme Court said that that the president cannot commit crimes when he's in the action of in the execution of his duties. So, you know, Trump also announced uh Trump also announced on Monday that he's deploying 800 National Guard troops to the city, a tactic he employed in Los Angeles in June when he mobilized thousands of Guard soldiers and U.S. Marines over the objections of state and local officials in response to protests over his administration's immigration raids. So Alabama, a red state, got a whole child sex trafficking dungeon, but the blue states are the ones with rampant crime. Yes. None of this is for anything, absolutely anything but fascist takeover. There's zero ethics involved. There's zero morality involved. There's absolutely nothing that any of the Republicans, and listen, there are people who keep trying to be fair, right? They keep trying to be like, well, I'm talking about the politicians. I'm always talking about the politicians. And this is in an attempt to try to use language that is more open and welcoming to the people on the right, people who might be looking at the current situation and going, I don't know if I made the right decision, right? So people go, look, I'm talking about the politicians. I'm talking about Donald Trump. I'm not talking about the voters. Look, I'm somebody that has people I have people that I love with all my heart and soul. I have people that I would literally die for. Like, I don't know, mom, dad, that are registered Republicans. Now, I don't know. Last time we got close to talking about Trump, my father seemed unhappy, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like completely like, oh, we had to change our heart type shit, And I don't know that I'm I don't love them less, right? I don't love them any less. But if you see what's happening right now, you see the genocide, you see, immigrants being rounded up, no due process, pushing Marines and Army onto the streets of LA, Army and federalizing cops in DC. If you are still on board with this shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're a bad person. You're a bad person. Just throw sandwiches at them. Revolution top of the. Did I see John Oliver's take down of Dean King? You really heard? Really? Did he really? I hope he did. Shit. Maybe we'll watch that. Ay, ay, ay. Just wait for the moment Donald finds out that Puerto Rico is in a different country. Well, they're there. Immigration, ICE is there. There was actually, let me see if I can find a video of it. There was a Puerto Ricans attack ICE. Not welcome, Chicago. Puerto Rico. Yeah, they tried to pick up somebody. I saw it on TikTok, but I don't know if anybody put it on YouTube. ICE in Puerto Rico. Fears over the ICE tried to detain American tourists in Puerto Rico.
Hold on, come on, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. You disrespectful motherfucker, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out, nigga, get the fuck out. Hey, yo, look at that going, Hold on, come on, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face.
That's how you do it. That's how you treat these fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, that's old one. That's old one. No, that's still Trump though. I think this might be like pro ICE. Yeah. Fuck off. Fuck you. 6 months ago. 1 month ago. Yeah. But they weren't playing.
And this morning, blocks from the White House, another part of the president's plan went into action. Homeless encampments toppled, and the people who once sheltered there nowhere in sight. More visible in D.C., National Guard troops activated by the president as part of what he calls an anti-crime agenda.
For more on the D.C. takeover, we're joined now by Juliette Kayyem, former Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. She's now at the...
By the way, this 5-minute video. Jake Laurel, what's going on? What's going on? I'm doing well. Jake Laurel might be the most loyal post liker and reposter. Like, if Jake Laurel doesn't repost something of mine, I know I might as well just delete it. Like, nah, something's wrong with it. Something's wrong. Jake didn't repost it. It's gotta go. It didn't get the Jake stamp of approval. I want you all to look at something real quick, okay? Now, I get it, right? I get it. I was there.
By the president as part of what he
we all have a
an
paycheck.
Anti-crime agenda.
I just want you to look at. I want you to look at these individuals on the screen. I want you to look at. You know, do they look distressed to you? Do they look like they're being forced to do something against their will? Or do they just look like they're at work, pulling duty? I need everyone to understand something. I need everyone to understand that, pull it in for a second. There are a lot of people, and I've been hearing this really my entire military life, but especially now, and there's a certain level of cope that I hear from people, especially if they have people, family in the military or something like that, where they say, you know what? The military is not going to follow these orders. If Trump turns the military on the people, they're not going to follow, because they have fallen. They don't realize it, but they have fallen for the same hero worship and propaganda that right-wingers have for the military and cops, right? Like, we like to say that's a right-winger thing, but the fact of the matter is that all of us from very, very little have been taught to worship cops in the military, right? And they are cops, military, firefighters, EMT, like all in the same group, right? Because they're civil servants who go out there and put their life on the line for you, right? And it's not until you get older that you realize it's all fucking bullshit. And you either reject it or you don't. So it's not a right-wing thing to do hero worship with the military. I need everyone to fucking understand that if Donald Trump says jump, every fucking military member, from the progressive who hates Donald Trump to the fucking MAGA hard right, with tattoo, has a tattoo of his face, they're all going to say how high equally as loud. There is not, there is not but a handful, a negligible amount of service people who will actually stand up and say no. Because we cannot talk about how capitalism has a chokehold on us without understanding that these people, I did it. I did it for 23 years. These people go in, and yes, there are a lot of benefits. Yes, there is a consistent pay raise. They give you free housing. Like, the military is like a microcosm of how socialism should be. Right? Everybody works. Everybody has an opportunity for the job. You wear your rank on outside. You don't keep salaries hidden. You get money to pay to live off base, and that money is based off of the area. So if you live in Hawaii versus you live in Georgia, the housing allowance. Oh, and by the way, cannot afford to live off base still? Don't worry about it. We have free housing on base. You know what I mean? Like, we'll give you extra money for food. We'll give you extra money for all this stuff. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jake. We're gonna hook you up. Why does YouTube? Oh, no one's just talking over there. Okay, never mind. We're gonna hook you up. But I don't think people really think about the why. Like, of course, it's because they want you to go to war and they want to keep you happy, right? I think that's a very shallow way of putting it. It's not, you're not going deep enough. It's not just about keeping you happy and making sure you're taken care of. That's their line. Why do pimps make sure that their sex workers are taken care of? Why do pimps let them have money at all? They give them enough to make sure that they feel taken care of, but also so that they think that without him, you can't get it. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. The fact of the matter is that the military's right. They have cornered the fucking market. Do you know how much money a month I pay in insurance? I have TRICARE Prime, and me and my wife are covered. And I think my deductible, I pay like 20 something down, 20 something dollars, something, you know what I mean? Like, I barely pay deductibles. I pay like 40 something dollars a month. 40 something odd dollars a month. Like 50, not more than 60. 500 is about right for the civilian life. With the cuts to the VA, you don't think that someone will rethink their stance? I don't think this cuts have been as extensive. I don't think the cuts are so extensive that they don't outshine the civilian, and that's the civilian market. And that's what I'm talking about, is that you have people like this that go, hey man, that's kind of fucked up, right? Are you sure you want to go to DC? Are you sure you want to go to the border? Are you sure you want to go to LA? And then they go, bro, let me tell you something. I have 3 kids. I'm up for promotion this year. And if I was a civilian, insurance would cost me $600 a month. I'm active duty, so it costs me nothing. My wife almost died of cancer, and she was able to get radiation, chemo, and was in the hospital for 3 months straight. And I didn't pay a dime. The military gives you stuff that admittedly, I'm not going to even lie and say they can't, like it's a trick or it's a lie. No, the benefits you find in the military cannot be matched by the civilian world. It can't. Now, that's the trade-off to, being treated like shit and being sent to war and being sent to do this. So now, when you ask these people, hey, don't do that. Why don't you just say no? Like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be kicked out of the military, get a dishonorable discharge, which is gonna go on my record, which means I'm not gonna be able to find a job. You got a military says like, Mary, I'm in the hospital. Oh, damn, what you in the hospital for? If it's not personal. I'm sorry to hear that, C-Rails. And I know it sounds like doomer shit. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you can't compete with the military. They're gonna be able to tell them to do whatever they want. Cancer. You told me that. I feel like you told me that. Right? Was it you? Damn. What kind of cancer? My son just got I think didn't we talk about this already? Didn't you bring that up? Or was it somebody else? Yeah, I feel like everybody's getting cancer. My son just yeah, I think you know that. You think you know that. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're kicking its ass. I know that chemo is no fucking joke if you're doing chemo. Watching my son waste away. Pancreatic for 4 years pancreatic cancer. Man, fucking that's fucking warrior shit right there. I'm glad you're sticking in there. I'm glad you're sticking in there. Best of luck. Best of luck. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, this one just really hits me. This scene right here really hits me. Because none of these people that are out there is they're gonna always do it. They're gonna always do it.
For more on the D.C. takeover, we're joined now by Juliette Kayyem, former Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. She's now at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Juliette, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to ask you to react to some of those scenes we just showed. You have federal agents wearing Homeland Security gear, running a traffic stop with Metropolitan Police, National Guard troops patrolling.
Oh, they said they moved the homeless people, right? They tore down all their stuff. Is it because what do you think? Like they built some housing for them, or they found a place to put them that so they didn't have to live out there in the streets? What do you think? Or did they say, get the fuck out of here? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here type shit. Right? Like, did they just say go and like, oh, well, I guess we'll head over to Virginia or fucking Maryland or some shit, right? Just complete fucking ghouls.
Tourist areas like the National Mall. I mean, from your experience, is it clear what the intention and strategy is here?
So there's two different pieces of this. One is federal law enforcement agencies, FBI,
Shit.
ICE,
You might be right,
HSI,
actually.
Homeland Security Investigations, working with in tandem Washington, D.C. Police. This is, it's unique. It is not clear what the federal agent's authority is. It is not clear whether they have, they can arrest for a petty crime, since that's not a federal crime. And I think there's a lot of confusion about what their authority is. Right now, we just see them walking around. The second is what we call presence patrols that is being done by the National Guard. Presence patrols we are here, we're an army or a unit that is making its presence known. It is not generally used in the military because there's really no task or purpose for it. There's no mission for it. It's just simply that we are present. And in both cases, the concern is because the mission isn't clear, ending crime, getting rid of poverty, all of those things are sort of nebulous in terms of what are the tactics that would justify federal involvement. It is not at all clear whether the mission will maintain, or you're going to get mission creep over the next couple days and weeks.
Juliette, when the president launched this effort, he talked about ramping up the use of force, right? He said that the D.C. police are now allowed to do, in his words, whatever the hell they want, promising forces would hit harder now. Does the presence of federal forces, federal agents, somehow allow for more force in these interactions?
It doesn't. I mean, and to be clear, there's nothing, there's no change in the laws of what engagement is. If someone spits,
there's no change in the law. That's the problem. The change is that the law doesn't fucking matter. If you're not going to get charged, if it's not going to be enforced because you're doing it in the obedience to God King Trump, then yeah, it has changed.
At a police officer, they're not allowed to shoot them. That's not permissible. That is not an appropriate response. The president talks like this as a signal of authority, aggressiveness, and some would even say totalitarianism, or at least the usurpation of local control by the executive branch.
American fascism.
I worry,
that's what it is.
Is of course with a undefined mission and unclear integration of these forces with now the National Guard, you will get mistakes. You will get people working and acting outside their authority. You will get responses to First Amendment activities, including lawful protests that violate the First Amendment and undermines people's rights to free speech. You're allowed to criticize this activity. And let's just be honest here. This is a lot of people who are now not looking and not investigating fentanyl and domestic violence and terrorism.
Juliette, the president has said he wants to extend this authority in D.C., possibly even to other cities. What are the implications of that?
Well, there's going to be the legal implications. D.C. is unique. It has a home rule aspect to it. What would be the legal authority for the president to do that? There's also the political issue.
Emergency.
Of course. Is this an attack on democratically run cities, blue cities in blue states? And is that the appropriate use of the military or federal law enforcement? But I want to take a step back and say my concern is, is this working? We have decades of research about what works in this arena, especially in terms of policing. It's community policing, it's outreach to communities, it's engaging people and neighborhoods that might have crime to work with them to minimize crime. This is exactly what DC has done. A federal military or federal law enforcement overlay seems many steps away from that.
Juliette Kayyem of Harvard's Kennedy School of Government joining us again tonight. Juliette, thank you. Good to speak with you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see this. I like to talk a lot. 8. Let's check this out. So the caption for this says, IDF assaulting and kidnapping civilians near school at Al Khalil over allegations of throwing pebbles.
احكي معي عربي او انجليزي دانس جا احكي معي عربي او انجليزي معلش عبراني يوم يغلق خليفه على له تحت روح احكي معي عربي هويه جيب له الهويه من جوا اגיד לו שיזדיין לי מהעיניים למה הוא מפריע לי בעבודה ואני אעצור אותו יופי, מה?
היי, קבץ אלה.
לכי בוא לפה אתה. איזה ילד זרק אבנים? אבן, ולד, על יהודים, על יעוד, עליי. وين؟ تعال.
I'm not fucking telling you shit.
ما انت لو مفين؟ ها؟
Yeah, what don't you get? Go over there.
No. What? I work in Bethlehem. You can't stop. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
את מפריעה לי בתפקיד.
No, you can't stop me.
את מפריעה לי בתפקיד. יפה.
I can't understand you. Don't touch the camera. Don't touch the camera.
תקשיבי לי טוב.
Listen, good. You're keeping me from doing my job. You got to get out of my area here. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? IDF says that filming is keeping them from doing their job. And he's probably right. It's like, look, I'm supposed to be doing shit here that isn't supposed to be on camera because I have to do like bad shit. So you're stopping me from doing that.
מפריעה לי בתפקיד, את צריכה לעוף לי מהאזור. זה כל העניין.
And that's that.
את לא מתקרבת לפה, הבנת? את לא מתקרבת לפה.
תן לה להיות שם שלא תצלם. תן לה מאחורי הפח שלך.
יופי, לזוז לשם.
Go behind the dumpster with all the garbage.
אוקיי.
Yeah. This guy literally, this teenager, this kid says, "That's my house over there." And he's like, "And? You gonna do something about it?" There are all these fucking like these fucking limp dick fucking pieces of shit that like this is life with the KKK right here. This is how I would imagine. Like you want to go back in time. You don't have to read books. You don't have to like read like just watch the IDF in the West Bank, and you get to see what it was like in Jim Crow days. Same. Good on her to fucking staying there. Are you making trouble? Come with me. Go on. I'm in charge of the school. Look at all the people that showed up. Look at all the Israelis. Look at that. This is not real. This is AI. There's no way this is real. Oh my God. A little kid threw a rock. They can't find the kid. And so they're bullying everybody around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe 100. Like 75 to 100 IDF people in this picture right now. Because a kid threw a rock. Oh, this is somebody else filming.
وفا اخوها قديمة تعبوا تعالوا لي على السيف شو
ما تقدرش تروح الاستاذ مهند.
مش نروح حسن نوقف فوق
What's with this soldier? Oh, is that the dude right there that was yelling about his daughter? The blue sweater. Oh no, it's not. Hey, but remember, everyone, remember, it's not an apartheid state. It's just self-defense. It's just self-defense. There's actually some videos that Maneater sent me. Check this shit out.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, chick?
So this is in DC right here.
No, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette. Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like
No.
Code 3, anything like that people are putting up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together, 7 days of going out, trying to.
Bet. Yeah. I'll definitely. I don't really fuck with X, Twitter, whatever the fuck it's called though. Do you have a Threads account? You should post to both.
Stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. So we're contacting people, trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then
Don't smoke or drink outside because Donald Trump is tired of it. Because Donald Trump is tired of it. This is how you talk about kings. This is how you talk about dictators. Not because it's against the law. Not because the community has complained. Ooh, Reddit. That's a good one. Not because of any of that. Because my dad, Donald Trump, doesn't like it.
there's other stuff going on where it turns into there's multiple agencies of somebody, there's a shooting and things like that. There's extra hands available, right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something like that, all right?
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only had asked me.
Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flash right, so I didn't realize it was just a cigarette. So that's on me. I appreciate you understanding and not getting chippy with me. All right, so just know, right? Learn, teach, tell your boys, like, yo, everybody's out, from FBI to park police. Right? So do your thing. Let them know. Don't be smoking outside. Don't be drinking outside, because Donald Trump is tired of it. People coming to visit.
Because Donald Trump is tired.
You didn't know smoking in public?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the arrestable.
Because in Maryland, it's recreational use, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so DC, it's recreational use as well, right? But you can legally possess up to 2 ounces. You can gift an ounce to your boy, right? So if you had 2 ounces and he said he needed a zip, you can give him a zip, but you can't smoke outside. You can
Fucking cowards. Take off your mask.
Literally. Look, he doesn't have his mask on. Okay, we got a face. One face right here.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Look, unmarked cars. They left him alone.
Y'all do not have to talk to that man. Yeah, don't even talk to him. You don't have to talk to him. Don't say nothing. We don't even know who he is. I know. I just got upstairs. I'm like, I identified myself. What's your badge number? What's your name? What's your name, sir? You're law enforcement. You're not going to identify yourself?
I'm law enforcement.
What's your badge number? Take a picture of it.
Clearly nothing.
That's right.
That's all right, bitch. Walk
They
away.
left you alone, bro. That's crazy. What a loser. Must suck to suck, right? That's your livelihood?
They did leave him, didn't they? He got splashed with water and then they fucking left. Oh shit! What else we got here? I'm not gonna lie, a little melodramatic, but that's TikTok for you. That is wild though. Look at that. Fucking everyone says fuck this, I'm out. You know, that would be the icing for me. To be able to say
So we have break.
to be able to say like, yep, this country went to shit because they tried to get water. Water. I was reading the chat. They tried to get they pushed all the migrants out of the country. Yeah. I hope everybody gets a chance to leave if that happens. I hope everybody get like let this fucking God, man.
So we have breaking news coming out of DC this morning.
I found this to be very interesting. This guy doing this in uniform with his name right there. I thought that was very, very, very interesting.
As Trump is warning Congress that if they don't extend his control over Washington, D.C. past 30 days, that he's going to declare a national emergency.
No, like
now,
neutral interesting. Like I find it because I don't know. Like we'll listen to it, but I'm pretty sure he tries to keep it neutral so he doesn't get in trouble. But typically you don't want to do shit like this in your uniform.
Now he's been using Section 740 of the D.C. Home Rule Act. This allows the president to take over D.C.'s police for 30 days during an emergency. Now, after that, Congress has to approve any extensions. But up till
Like he gives a
now,
fuck.
he has put National Guard and federal police agents on the streets of D.C.
Oh, maybe you beat it.
And he says it's to stop a so-called crime crisis, but from the numbers we've seen put out, the official numbers show crime in D.C. is at or near historic lows right now. So why does this matter to you nationwide? A national emergency could actually unlock more than 100 special powers, from freezing assets and controlling certain communications to, if he invokes the Insurrection Act, deploying active duty military, or even federalizing National Guard units anywhere in the country. So if Congress refuses to extend authority, Trump says he's going to do it anyway, that he'll bypass them. And legal experts warn that this move could be unprecedented and could spark a major constitutional showdown over presidential power.
Yeah, same. I'm very glad also. A protest group plans to plaster viral meme billboards across the Yeah, Scott isn't gonna do shit. Okay, all right, trigger warning on this one. So this is in Seattle, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, in a second. I'd like to talk. Hold on a second. This is a trigger warning on this one. I know we typically expect shit like this out of, the Israel IDF videos, but this is the country Trump is enabling right now. This guy is a disabled dude in a wheelchair, and this guy is accusing him of stolen valor. So what I am guessing is either he's simply saying he's a veteran and this guy doesn't believe it, probably because he's a racist piece of shit. Why wouldn't he believe it? What does it fucking matter? But also, stolen valor really only pertains to like making money off of service that you didn't do. So maybe he's begging, maybe he's a homeless person who is, saying he's, help me out, I'm a veteran, and this guy is about to kill him for it. Now he'll say that he was just defending himself because he had a knife in his hand, but this is an old man in a wheelchair, one of those little motorized thingy. Pretty sure you're not gonna get sprinted out with a knife. But if he does have a knife, just know that there's a pretty good chance that this fucking piece of shit is gonna be let off. And this is why I say, unironically, I fucking wish we had a Dexter in real life. A bystander films as a man aggressively demands to see the ID of a disabled man, proving he's a veteran. The victim, Harold Powell, has been busking on Seattle waterfront for 30 years. Oh, so he's not homeless. He's not homeless. He's just a performer. Powell's a Navy vet who was forced to retire after being struck by a drunk driver in 1991. The suspect snatches a patch off Powell's belongings. The bystander then tries to step in to retrieve the patch as Powell asserts that he has an ID. The bullet missed Powell's vital organs and he is expected to survive. Now, what I want to know is, was this dude charged?
Well, the victim, his name is Harold Powell Sr. He's still recovering after being shot in the chest, and video captures the moment
completely,
the encounter
completely.
on
Who
the
gives a fuck?
waterfront turns violent. Harold Powell Sr. proudly wears his military hat and displays this on his wall.
Well, it means everything to me. That's who I am. I was in the United States Navy submarine service for 14 years, and I transferred out.
Yeah, but you forgot. You were in the Navy, but you're also black. So you're going to have to do some extra stuff to prove that you're worth anything at all. So
Powell performs regularly along Seattle's busy waterfront, positioning himself next to a sign that highlights his military service as he entertains tourists.
I play different tamarines with different songs.
But an encounter on July 31st quickly turned violent. Powell describes the events that led to this moment.
I was getting ready to leave, and a gentleman walked up to me. He says, "How long are you going to be here?" I said, I'm wrapping up. I said, "Why?" He says, "Because you're a fake veteran." I said, no, I'm a veteran, man.
Powell says he reached into his bag to retrieve proof.
I says, no, I got ID. He grabbed my belongings.
Police say Gregory Tim ripped off a military patch.
So he took my stuff away, and then people was like, hey, you know, 'cause he was trying to take my stuff. So I had a knife, so I took my knife out.
Witnesses say Tim did not back down, and Powell took out what was
Oh, shit. Look, I hate it. I'm definitely not defending it, but I'm telling you right now, that guy probably will not get charged because of that right there. So right now, the guy is unarmed, and because this dude is being weird and aggressive, he takes out his knife to protect himself. He is brandishing a knife. So, you know what this guy does? Let me tell you what this guy does right here. This is a man who said, "Fuck yeah, I finally get to kill somebody." This dude has been wanting to kill somebody ever since he's been carrying. He has been waiting for this moment. And when he saw that knife, I guarantee you, he was like, I finally get to kill. And he probably said the N-word in his head. There is literally, absolutely no reason to give a fuck or doubt that this dude was a veteran. None. If that dude had been an old white man with a submarine Navy hat, that dude would have been all over his dick saying, thank you for your service and tell me your stories. But because he was black, he had to prove it. And so he pulls out a knife to defend himself. And he goes, fuck yeah, I get to fucking kill somebody. And I'm telling you right now, I'd be willing to bet because the dude Powell has a knife in his hand, that dude is going to get off. It's bullshit, man. The old man was not going to stab you if you're really scared, then just scream, just drop the knife. Yeah, 100%. That's how I know. That's how I know he was ready. I know he was ready because he would have said, right? He's an old man in a slow wheelchair. He could have said, drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife or I'm going to shoot you. He's like, nah, fuck yeah, here we go. Pow, I get to kill this motherfucker. And he just might get off. The only way that I can see him getting time, and believe it or not, this isn't going to sound like, backwards, right? It's going to sound counterintuitive at first, but the only way I think that that he can get charged and sentenced is if he's a cop. Which, I mean, if he was an off-duty cop, he probably would have said by now. But if he has any kind of training, like if he was like an MP or a cop or something, him just pulling out his weapon and killing the dude, I think they can say like, nah, you did that shit on purpose. But if he's just a straight up like regular civilian concealed carry guy, then I can see them being like, yeah, well, the guy had a knife, feared for his life. I'm glad he lived though. This would have been way worse.
Later identified as a holstered airsoft gun. Tim then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell.
Oh yeah, this guy's getting off 100%. 100% he's getting off. I was doubting it before. He's 100% getting off. I was at like 90% he's gonna get off with the knife, but then the guy has an airsoft gun in there.
Tim then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell, and Powell took out what was later identified as a holstered airsoft gun.
He took out an airsoft gun. He had a knife in his hand, then took out a gun, an airsoft gun. He's not. I would. This right here. I think you're right, Sig Fang. I don't see this dude even getting charged, honestly.
Tim then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell in the chest.
I've been shot point blank with a 45. I'm dead.
Police and paramedics rushing in took Tim into custody and Powell to the hospital.
God said, I can't survive this. You know, that's what I thought.
But he did. After more than a week in the hospital, he's home and not focusing on the violence that almost cost him his life.
I'm living. Keep on living if you're living.
For that, he's thankful.
But what a day, you know. I'm just grateful. You know, I'm grateful here.
That's some old man shit right there. Like,
Because
what a day, ain't
Powell is unable to
think
work
your
right
day's
now.
bad. I just
His
got shot.
family has started an online fundraiser to help him with his recovery. Joyce?
And has the suspect been charged in this case yet, Natalie?
Yes, charged with assault, and prosecutors say Gregory Tim cannot say it was self-defense because police believe he's the one that started this confrontation. His next court date is set for Monday.
There you
Joyce?
go.
Reporting live for us, Natalie. Thank you.
There you go.
Well,
Okay.
organizers
Okay.
scrapped their
Okay.
largest-
Well, maybe not 100%. He still got to get convicted though. He still got to get convicted. But yeah, so here's a couple things. This is Washington State, which means progressive judges get voted in. And then yeah, he started it. And the gun stayed holstered. It's not like he took out the airsoft from the holster. Yeah, let's go move back to Seattle and be broke. Oh no, we already watched this one. Was that it? Let's watch.
If you can't be arrested and tossed into a dungeon or a detention center or a concentration camp or some damn basement without a fair trial, we don't with that. Sadly, today, Donald Trump.
Can I just say, you probably shouldn't ever be allowed to be thrown into a dungeon or a damn basement, or even with due process.
And the administration of billionaires, crackpots, and ice brigades have taken over. We are gathering here by the hundreds of thousands in locations of thousands around the USA and the world. In the spirit of our founding fathers, and our brothers and sisters of the Boston Tea Party. The one thing that King Trump and his masked henchmen are making clearer and clearer every day, every law they break, every single day, is that we are going to have to be brave if we want to be free.
Where are you finding these videos? I like to talk a lot. Like, you found the raw footage, or are you in Israel or Palestine, Gaza, West Bank, or are you finding them on the internet and then putting them together? Okay, here we go. Found online, edited. Got it. Okay, cool. So check this out. This dude they're gonna tell you, right? This right here is the most moral army in the world. End quote. The most moral army in the world. Let's hear them out. Battalion 9208 under the command of Israel Ben Pazi won't stop. It will continue until we complete the mission we started: conquer, expel, and settle. Conquer, expel, and settle. Did you hear me, BB? Conquer and expel and settle. Next year, we'll burn the school and beat up all the teachers too.
איזה כיף לראות בתי ספר נשרפים בעזה.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
עף לי הנשמה! יואו! איזה דבר! שלא יהיה להם לאן לחזור!
Just destroying people's shit. This is not, they're not looking for Hamas. They're not destroying Operations Center. They're just making it on purpose. On purpose, they're making it so people cannot move back in, because the point is to get them out of Gaza, and so they can settle. Setting their homes on fire, setting their furniture on fire.
מנורת מנגינה, 250 שקלים. אוקיי, חדש מחופשה, סטוקי, אצלי רק סטוקי. 3 שעות כזה, מנורת פרפר לילד, גם לבית ספר, גם לא לבית ספר. ילד חדש תקופת ניצחון. שתיים במחיר של 250 שקלים. הכל 3 ב-1,000.
And that's your idea for you. That's your idea for you. All right. What the fuck? Where'd it go? How many people here are familiar with FD signifier?
Beta!
Yeah, for sure. I like to talk a lot. We're definitely all about making sure people know about what pieces of shit Israel is. So that's what's up. Unk. Yeah. I'm too old to call him Unk, so but yeah, that's him. Bet. Yeah, like glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Hope you are back. If you ever have any links or something like that and you don't catch me, you can always DM me on Twitch or something. Hopefully I'll remember to catch them. Yeah, I think I'm old enough to call FD cousin or nephew. I don't think I can call somebody younger than me Unk. This is exactly young, and then he's a young, and yeah. So this is the problem with Killer Mike. All right, now let me just. This is why I'm gonna tell you all why I want to watch this, and I think it's important to watch. If you have nephews, cousins, friends, you know, the kind of people who are on the left, but there is a level of critical thought that is missing in Black and brown communities, even those on the left. There is this significant loss, you know, and I blame, you know, I would say it probably happened around the same time that the Black Panther Party fell out of popularity, right? That when they were dismantled. And it is the fact that white supremacy driven by capitalism is the problem, or maybe capitalism driven by white supremacy, however you want to look at it. We have lost the idea. We have lost the knowledge that was given to us through like great minds from around the world, not the least of which come from Black and Indigenous communities. To now we sit here and we want to be wealthy, and we think that owning our own business is going to lift us up. We say the most important thing is generational wealth. And I keep seeing this more and more and more. And it's sad because if you go to LA today, where there is no shortage of very wealthy black folks, very wealthy, rich neighborhoods that are all black. Like Atlanta is a very black city. And you can see very clearly how black capitalism works when compared to white capitalism. Spoiler alert, it works exactly the same fucking way. Because the fact that black capitalism is successful in Atlanta doesn't do a goddamn thing for the poor and disenfranchised of the poverty and working class. The existence of rich black folks in Atlanta does not elevate the poor and working class in Atlanta, because that is by design. That is capitalism by design. So I think that in our community, especially the people who I know were very, very upset. I mean, we were all upset that Trump won. Okay, right. But then there are people who are like really loved Kamala Harris. And I think if you loved Kamala Harris, if you thought she was going to do great things, if you love Obama, I think you really need to be watching more of FD Signifier. And this one is particularly going to be on black capitalism, specifically with Killer Mike as the vehicle for this discussion. So we're gonna watch that.
Hip-hop legend, one of the greatest to ever. All right. Killer Mike is a hip-hop legend, one of the greatest to ever hold the your favorite rapper's favorite rapper title, and one of the most influential names and voices among black celebrities when it comes to political thought. Sadly, that's not the highest praise in the world, where rap legends are tap dancing for Donald Trump. If you only hear Mike's music, you think he was on some Fred Hampton shit. His first ever splash on the political scene was interviewing Bernie Sanders during the 2016 election cycle. Mike was also one of the first mainstream rappers to criticize Barack Obama back around the same time. His song Reagan is probably one of the most provocative political rap songs ever, and his work with LP on Run the Jewels is the closest thing we've had to radical hip hop in the mainstream since, Dead Prez back in the early 2000s, or Public Enemy in the 80s and 90s. You hear songs like Kill Your Masters and you see him chew and Whitlock in public, and you feel like Mike is as left as mainstream public celebs tend to get, and that's probably true. But then you see he interviewed Herschel Walker here in Georgia back when Herschel was on that incredibly embarrassing run for Senate. In fact, if you're here locally in Georgia, you know that Mike's radically inclined veneer kind of tarnishes itself a little bit. He's met a few times with Republican Governor Brian Kemp. He was silent during the anti-Cop City movement, and when the uprisings were happening in 2020, he, along with T.I., was one of the folks they trotted out hoping to convince people to get out of the streets and not tear up their property. Now, while I have issues with a lot of that stuff that I've talked about in other videos, as mainstream rappers go, Killer Mike might as well be Tupac. And not really since Tupac had a rapper been capable of speaking to social issues outside of their music as effectively as in their music, something that even the most socially conscious rappers today are not able to do. But quiet as it's kept, Tupac was, along with being a theater kid, truly engaged with a radical legacy. He was legit raised by Black Panthers. And Killer Mike's parents were the unlikely combination of a police officer and a business owner / part-time drug trafficker, which really explains a lot about Mike if you pay attention, right? All this said, I want to be clear, since I might fuck around and run into this dude one of these days. I have criticism for Mike, but no smoke for him. This is not a call out video. This is meant to be a critique, to look at Mike's political past and things he's presented and say, okay, what here is useful and what here not so much. And the main issue I have,
it's a call out video. It's just not a call out video with for no reason, right? It's a call out video that says, hey, be careful who you worship type shit. That's what it is.
With Mike is,
and I'm here for it,
his undying love for capitalism. Like, Mike genuinely loves and believes in capitalism and the myth that black wealth and black buying power is the key to black liberation. So much so that he's been a part of numerous endeavors, both locally and nationally, designed to uplift black people through entrepreneurship and wealth accumulation. And folks have tried to explain to Mike that this is illogical, and he seemingly has just dug in harder around this. He even a few years back had a contentious exchange with Dr. Jared Ball, the author of The Myth of Black Buying Power, a book I've talked about more than a few times on this channel, and a book that every so-called black capitalist should read. Something that Mike probably has not read, but it didn't stop him from sneak dissing Dr. Ball on a breakfast.
The Myth and Propaganda of Black Buying Power, Media, Race, Economics. Let me screenshot that bad boy.
Something that Mike probably has not read, but it didn't stop him from sneak dissing Dr. Ball on a Breakfast Club interview a while back.
The myth of the black economic spending power. I'm not arguing that with niggas, man. Shouts out your book, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about. And you want me on your show and I'm never gonna go, right? But there you go, nigga. That makes you happy I mentioned you.
Mike's love of capitalism and flawed radicalism was never more apparent than in his short-lived Netflix series Trigger Warning. This was a 6-episode miniseries where Killer Mike tried to get himself over as the foremost progressive and radical political thinker in mainstream media. And it almost worked. And if I'm fair, there's some legitimately good stuff in it. But at the same time, because it's a Netflix show and not an actual radical movement, it very much devolves into lightly scripted reality TV hijinks where you can tell producers are behind the scenes encouraging certain behavior or setting up certain scenarios to give it the veneer of reality TV and radical activity. But the truth is, it was just entertainment. And this is no more apparent than the first and last episodes, which to me represent the core of Killer Mike's flawed politics. In the first episode, Killer Mike decides to spend 3 days where he doesn't spend a single dollar in the black community. And it's really the most frustrating of all the episodes in retrospect, because if anything, it illustrates.
Watch this, watch the uncensored version of this on Nebula. I definitely, you know what? I think next month I wanna check out that Nebula bit.
Trace the folly of black capitalism in this episode alone.
I want to know how difficult it is to truly live in the black economy. So for the next 3 days, leading up to my show in Athens, Georgia, I'm living totally black.
Mike quickly runs into the limitations of the whole black buying power myth and the idea that black people have $2 trillion to spend, and that somehow this spending will create black wealth that will be the key to black liberation. Which is that niggas don't own enough of our economic realities to ever create a situation where our buying power could move the needle on our plight in America. By the time Mike was trying to find somewhere to sleep and eat, he was in dire straits, sleeping on a park bench while out of town and not having eaten anything because the black restaurants he went to weren't actually using food bought from black vendors.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please tell me like this came from the West Georgia, like Black Farmers Collaborative or...
No, it didn't.
May I get a to-go box, please?
Most of those restaurants use the same vendors that any white restaurant does, which means that at some point in time, a white person is getting paid. In the end, he finally ate in a small town in Georgia when he found a black farm that also had its own soul food restaurant. And understand, because we'll come to this later, that's a really cool and good thing to have that type of self-sustained food source, but that's not what many black capitalists invest their money into, because that's not gonna make people more money. More on this later, by the way. At the end of the episode, instead of reflecting on what he should have learned, which is the limits of the very concept he's built his ideology around, at his concert, he takes a moment to speak to the audience and says, we're gonna make Black Friday every Friday, and every Friday, you're gonna buy something from a black business, completely forgetting the fact that he learned himself that those black businesses at some point in time are gonna be buying from white vendors, paying for utilities and materials from white businesses, and if they're lucky, eventually putting the money they make from that situation in a white bank. And right now you might be saying, well, FD, don't you know about the Greenwood Bank that Killer Mike started a couple of years ago? And it's a black-owned bank that endeavors to help circulate the black dollar among black businesses and provide financial services to black people the same way these services are offered to white entrepreneurs. And that if we can replicate this, we can eventually get free and lead to economic and liberatory prosperity for black people all over the country. And my response to you is, you must not watch my videos. When you finish this, you should go watch my video on the real black conservatism, but I'm gonna kind of rehash the whole of that here. So if you don't want to give me an extra view and help, you know, pay bills around here, just pay attention for a little while longer. Plus there's important stuff coming at the end. So just stay here. All right, stay here. So
hey, if you're here, you're lurking, or you're not, I have the link to this video pinned. Typically you want to watch videos and comment and be transformative, right? But it's gonna, you know, it's FD. You know, it's FD. He's an academic, so he's gonna be talking most of the time. So please do me a favor, help my conscience out, and maybe give it another watch through. You know, using his link, just in case he missed something.
So yes, Killer Mike, along with a couple of
at least
black
go there and like the
entrepreneurs
video.
of relative note, started the Greenwood Bank, I think in 2022. And they marketed it as a black-owned bank and named it after the historic community Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, also known as Black Wall Street, before it was burned down in a horrific act of racial violence in 1921. And it's ironic, or maybe perfectly coincidental, that both Mike's alleged bank and the story of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, both involve a lot of stretching of the truth or hiding of reality to maintain the black capitalist mythology. Before I continue, a lot of this next piece is due to the scholarship of Two Black and the Black Myths podcast. I've talked to Two Black a couple of times in content, including an interview on my podcast channel. I'll leave his podcast on this topic, complete with sources, in the description. But in short, Greenwood was in fact a very wealthy and very vibrant black neighborhood during its time. But like most forms of black wealth, that wealth was a byproduct of a client economy to white businesses. In this case, the very lucrative oil businesses that erupted in Tulsa at the turn of the century when they first discovered oil in like 1910. The discovery of that oil created an opportunity for many entrepreneurs to set up shop, and some of those entrepreneurs were definitely black, and that did lead to a lot of black wealth accumulation for a portion of black residents in Tulsa. But it was never a universally wealthy reality.
I'll watch
for
him
all
on
of them. And that
YouTube,
wealth was
though.
not only generated and circulated amongst black hands. Most of the black residents of Tulsa were still laborers working for white businesses. As amazing and celebratory as we should be of Tulsa and the Greenwood district, the idea that Tulsa was a self-sustained, all-black economic utopia is just not true. Again, this is not to say that Greenwood wasn't amazing and worthy of that celebration, but the myths of that city are constantly used for nefarious means. What is definitely true is that Greenwood was burned down by white terrorists in 1921, killing somewhere between 50 and 500 black people and burning down probably thousands of businesses and houses. And this is such a shameful American event that is left out of even the most progressive history books that you might have read even back in my day. In fact, if you didn't have a certain type of uncle that may have worn a certain type of hat, you probably never heard this story until Lovecraft Country or The Watchmen talked about it in their shows a couple of years ago. However, even your Hotep uncle probably doesn't tell you the next part, which is usually left out to allow the story of the Tulsa Massacre to be utilized as a weapon of black capitalist propaganda the way Killer Mike did. Greenwood was eventually rebuilt. The black folks who survived the riot, which were plenty, had insurance, and more important, they came together as a community to rebuild Greenwood. It's how many of them were able to write memoirs about it. They didn't just let the earth get salted and then move on. Greenwood ended up thriving even more decades later after it was rebuilt. What is not said is that what eventually destroyed Greenwood, the reason why it doesn't exist today, was government policy. It was city planning or urban renewal ushered in by then President Dwight Eisenhower that destroyed the town for good by building highways through the neighborhood. I even found this, hopefully I'm not stealing somebody's work, but I couldn't find anyone else and I couldn't figure out who it was. But I got this off Facebook and it's a really cool graphic just showing you where the Greenwood community used to be and how the highway pretty much erased it. So as horrifying as that act of white terrorism was, that wasn't what stopped the movement. It was political decree. And this is the folly of believing that you will be safe enough if you get enough money, that enough money from black people will produce power that will stop this country from doing whatever the hell it wants to us. That black success by itself is a form of resistance. Until all of us are free, until the system no longer has power over us, we will always be subject to this tyranny. The story of Greenwood is often used to inspire black people, but also shame them with this idea that if we just stopped smoking so much weed and wasting our money on malt liquor and acrylic nails, that we will be able to build Black Wall Street again and make everything good in the hood. That all it takes is buying black and investing in black entrepreneurship to get freedom, but that's not reality. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Some people have to have a job. Yet that was the undertone of Mike's Greenwood Bank commercials, which was marketed as a black-owned bank, but in reality was a financial services app that on the back connected its users to a white-owned bank, Coastal Community Banking Solutions. And I want to be very clear, although that is incredibly deceptive marketing, in isolation, this is not the worst thing ever. Pretty much all of us are connected to some banking institution, and pretty much all of these banking institutions are fundamentally evil. It makes sense to use the one that's owned by somebody black that might provide better, more curated financial services to its black customer base. I am not saying take your money out of Greenwood or that it's a scam or anything like that. I'm just pointing out the manipulation in the marketing and what ideas it plays around with, and reminding you that your financial services are not part of the revolution. They are not contributing to liberation. They're only contributing to your financial situation. And that situation,
I feel FD is really, really, really making sure he's like, look, this dude just might come here because he's in Atlanta a lot, and FD's out of Atlanta, so he's like, I need to make sure all my T's are crossed and I's are dotted because I do not want this dude coming for me.
is not radical. And that's kind of the thing with Mike. He loves capitalism, but I personally think that he does genuinely want liberation for black people. But he loves capitalism too much to recognize that those two things do not work together. But he keeps trying to fuse them shits together anyway. It's like one of those fucked up fusions from Dragon Ball Z where everything's off, but you still get this weird homunculus. Or maybe a better example is, the dog girl from Full Metal Alchemist. I'm sure everybody's happy I brought that up.
God, canceled. What? I want everyone to go and cancel their subscription from FD right now. Cancel your Nebula, unfollow, unsubscribe, and write him a nasty DM. No, I'm playing.
And because
I'm like 80% playing, because that's pretty fucked up.
Because of this habit of mutilating these philosophies to make sure that they can still fit within the framework of capitalism, he bastardizes actual black radical thinking and philosophers who would outright tell him to his face that his goal of using capitalism to liberate black people is a fool's errand. As a literally day one Killer Mike fan, not just from his first big hit action when he was—
You don't know? You don't know? You don't know. I feel like it might be better that you don't know. Oh, man. This is a really fucked up story in a anime called Full Metal Alchemist. And this is a brother who lost his body, and he's like, his spirit's in this armor. And then the other one, stop. You got to find out. You have to. You have to. You know what you have to do? You need to just, if you're not going to watch Full Metal Alchemist, you should at least watch that episode. Let's just say, yeah, I don't want to ruin it. You have to be traumatized like the rest of us. That's what you have to be traumatized like the rest of us. If you have to ask, you don't want to know. It's pretty fucked up. Let's just put it that way. It's It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. And it doesn't end well at all. It's like it crushes you and then continues to crush you. And then right before it moves on, it crushes you again. God.
Early 2000s. I'm talking about his legendary independent run of the late 2000s when he was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. I Pledge Allegiance to the Grind, 1, 2, and 3, all classics.
Oh, did you look it up? Did you get the synopsis? Did you look up the synopsis of the picture?
I'm talking Ric Flair Killer Mike. Y'all not up on that. In that era, I heard him on several occasions shout out the likes of Malcolm X, George Jackson, and Fred Hampton. And again, he is the first black figure to bring democratic socialism to the community through Bernie Sanders, as flawed as that was. So there's a there, but that also tells you that he should know better, that either he's too protective of his own class position or too stubborn to recognize the inherent paradox he's presenting to black people. And because videos like this are far less popular than a Breakfast Club interview, black people who are 60, 70 years deep in a brainwashing campaign around our own history are unable to see the internal paradoxes in what Killer Mike tends to say, so he ends up getting a pass on it. There's inherent value in Mike's ability to galvanize and inspire black people, but it's frustrating to know how he's so close to pushing a more useful politic, but instead mostly ends up distorting what those politics look like. And the perfect final example of this is in the last episode of that same show, where as a season finale, they decide to take the real work being done by the community he visited in the first episode and turn it into a farcical, nonsensical episode of Survivor. Many of the people that he connects with over the course of the show come back, and he creates New Africa by buying some farmland outside of Atlanta and inviting pretty much any old body to it. We have actual activists joined by juggalos and other random people that clearly weren't on one accord when they got there and surely aren't still there today. And I don't have a problem with any particular groups of people that he invited. I hope everybody finds their space. I've heard that juggalos are like one of the most progressive rap fandoms in existence right now. But this is very much a farce of a community with no real political agenda, no unifying goals, or no sense of sustainability. If anything...
No, he wasn't wrong in the comparison. He was just wrong for bringing it up. He was wrong for making us relive the trauma, you know? That's what he was wrong for.
The episode makes the very idea of a land project seem silly, and that's really bad. Like, they even sell sponsorship spots on their flag. Now again, Killer Mike is a rapper. He is not a political philosopher. He is not a politician. And this is a Netflix show, and you should kind of know what you're getting. So it's not a huge surprise that they would take this really important, serious thing that the black radical tradition has done over years and water it down into a farce. And for all the criticisms I have of Mike, I can't give up on the possibility that there's value in his work and potential in his words if we could just get them to be less fetishizing of capitalism in general. And I'm sure that for some, hearing that song Reagan or hearing Killer Mike even mention some of these luminaries was a way for them to discover these politics in earnest and maybe, just maybe, start them on a journey of real political awakening. And more than anything, to me, it's always important to keep in mind that when we critique celebrities and artists, etc., the goal isn't to destroy them or make it seem like their art is not of any value or that you shouldn't enjoy it, especially when it's of high quality. The goal is to use the light that they naturally bring to any situation and shine it on things that are valuable and important, even as you're criticizing them. And with that in mind, I want to talk about today's sponsor, which is not something I'm getting paid for, but something I want to bring to everyone's attention because it's something I think is valuable and important, especially in this month of August, which is also known in the black radical tradition as Black August. What if Killer Mike were more serious about a land project for the people? What if instead of fun and hijinks, there was a land project in Atlanta helmed by a former Black Panther and political prisoner that is really trying to build power apart from the system, and they needed your help to do this? In the past, on other channels or social media posts,
usually I'll skip ads, but this seems like it's dope.
You may have seen me promote the work of community movement builders here in Atlanta. I talked to one of their leaders, Kamal Franklin, about the Stop Cop City movement a couple of years back. They were very active in one of the leading organizations in that movement, and they recently reached out to me about their Love, Land, and Liberation project with the goal of showing how a collective can use land for something useful, not to start a weird episode of Survivor, but to continue the Black radical tradition. In observance of Black August, which is a month of resistance, fasting, and education meant to engage with the plight of political prisoners across the globe, Community Movement Builders is doing a funding drive for this project, and I want you, and maybe even Killer Mike if he sees this.
Community Movement Builders. Keep that in your back pocket. I'm gonna wait this finish.
Right, you can make it right, Mike. To support this project, they acquired 14 acres of land 20 minutes outside of Atlanta, and it's already being developed as a space for food production, movement retreats, and training. Models of food sustainability are already being achieved on the land after just 9 months because of their survival programs and education. That food is distributed to the local community and those who participate in harvesting the food. Newly planned animal husbandry projects are already beginning to bear fruit, or should we say eggs. As I said earlier, the land is a home of a former Panther, BLA member, and political prisoner, and hosts retreats of the Jericho movement on how to free political prisoners across the country. As opposed to mocking Black land projects, Killer Mike and others, those of you watching, should take a careful look at what it takes to keep a community alive during a time where all of us need to be thinking about where we might need to go, considering how things are going in this country. How might a model of Black self-sufficiency be work and be created and scaled for the needs of a local community? So please, if you're interested in supporting, they have a drive going on. The link for the drive will be in the description of this video. Thank you so much for supporting that funding drive. Thank you to all who watched to the end of this video. I'm FD Signifier, and this has been Light Work.
All right, first let's go to that website. Love, Land, and Liberation Cultural Center. Oh, I want to go. Is this it? That might not be it.
All right.
Wait. Oh yeah, here it is. Found it. Black Farm Project. So, if any of y'all are feeling generous, there's the link to that one. And why didn't that make it on the Oh, it did. That's weird.
Love. Land. Get him.
Maneater, would you want to buy a land near here?
Family, we try to support each other. We all down with that? We all got that? All right.
Community Movement Builders is excited to announce Love, Land, and Liberation, a new sustainability initiative coming to your community. CMB has acquired farmland 20 minutes outside of Atlanta that we are transforming into a resilient, cooperative community.
20 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Education, organizing, and developing future leaders of our liberation movements.
This includes creating a space for food production, movement retreat meeting, and training.
Love, Land, and Liberation seeks to create cooperative enterprises as an alternative resource generator for people and communities. Our land will be used to host and grow our food sustainability programs, farming, husbandry, and co-op projects for our people in our community. Love, Land, and Liberation
How do you think their Wi-Fi is out there, though?
Low-income families in Atlanta's Pittsburgh neighborhood, and even helps pay for their utilities.
So the leftovers go to boys.
Like, how long will it take me to
whatever is going
update my
we get
my Marvel Rivals?
and our chicken. So we basically use up everything. Nothing goes to waste.
No, you can't. You can't be like that, man. Either we gotta. This is a community effort.
Black land is community land. It is a place where our people can build and fight for our self-determination. To make this project even more successful,
All right, what if we have like a
support to
private
build out more
place and then we go
structures
to the
on land.
community
We're
center
asking
to
for your
like help
support to
farm and
build a
shit?
retreat space, additional tiny houses, glamping spaces, and to increase our food production to support our ongoing survival
Glamping
program.
spaces.
Please
See,
visit our
you
website
can
to
go and
learn
support by glamping out there. Heavily stream 3 times a week, then yeah. See, you're not thinking about the important shit. Huh? What I wanted to show you all, and I'm glad he said it because I was about to try to find a different so on the website, right? So just in case y'all didn't know, I made some new shirts. This is the a remake of the old one. I just put Left Face TV, Left Face Apparel on the bottom there. I made like a Burger King ad one. Aren't you hungry? And then the thing says eat the rich. I still need to order the this one for myself. I think this one's gonna be a good one. And then I got 2 different Ninja Turtle parody shirts. One is middle-aged angry nerdy socialist, which I'll buy for myself. And then if you're not middle-aged, you got this one, working class angry nerdy socialist. This one, idea credit John Stewart, abolish ICE with the 18 van. But why did it want to come here? So help raise funds for Palestine Children's Relief Fund and Community Movement Builders. So I had never heard of Community Movement Builders before, but there were some shirts that I wanted to put up that I get no profit from. And these are the 2 right here. So I have a From the River to the Sea shirt. And I have They Want Our Rhythm But Not Our Blues shirt with John Hurt on it. And both of these I don't get profit from. Obviously the shirt has to still be paid for. So that gets, the funds to go get it made, but any profit I make over it, which I think is like about $5 or $6 per shirt, will go, if it's From the River to the Sea shirt, will go to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, and anything from They Want Our Rhythm But Not Our Blues, all profits go to the Community Movement Builders, which is the same Community Movement Builders that FD Signifier was just here. So I'm glad I finally heard it somewhere else. It kind of validates. I was thinking about maybe like finding someone else because I had never heard of them before, and I haven't heard anybody talk about them. But the fact that there's your sign. The fact that FD brings it up is validating. What happened to the coalition design ideas? Coalition? Remind me which one you're talking about. So there are some ways to support. You could support Left Face by buying any of the other stuff, or you can help and do some fundraising by buying the They Want Our Rhythm John Hurt tee or the From the River to the Sea solidarity shirt. So yeah. Yeah, shit. We got to bring back Brain Rot. Brain Rot's coming back on Monday, y'all. We're going to do some Brain Rot on Monday after we talk about whatever we're talking about. I had some things lined up here that we didn't get to, so we'll go to them on Monday. Let's see. I want to watch that Zoran Mamdani interview. And then we'll go over his Putin and him did a release on the thing. But yeah, send me a DM on Send me a DM on what the design ideas. I remember the pedophile and the crocodile thing. I still got to design, draw up, but the coalition design, I'm not tracking. Anyways, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, that is the end of the show. That is Left Face. I am Robo, and I appreciate everybody for coming through. Make sure to take care of yourselves, and visit leftface.tv. Get yourself a hat or a shirt or something, or support a movement and get yourself one of those shirts I just showed you. That said, I will be back on Monday around 8 o'clock. Join the Discord if you haven't already, and you will be able to get notifications for when I go live. On YouTube, if you're watching me on Twitch, head over to my YouTube channel and give the live stream a like if you haven't already. And then click the notification bell so you can get notifications there as well. Because everybody loves their phone dinging all the time, I know. I love you all. See you on Monday. I'm out.